My sister sided with my cheating ex-husband during our divorce. We haven't spoken in 5 years, and now my family wants me to help her out of financial ruin. Hi. So I, 36, female, got divorced from Martin, my ex-husband, 34, male, 5 years ago. We had been together for almost 6 years and married for 2 before we separated. The reason behind our divorce was his infidelity. He confessed to me that he had been having an affair with a coworker for a couple of months right after our 2-year anniversary, and that was it for me. He had said that he wanted to give our marriage another chance and wanted to come clean to me so that we could make it work. But after I found out that he had been cheating, there was no turning back. He moved out because I asked him to, and we got the divorce where I got the house, and he got a second wife. As soon as the divorce was finalized, he got married to the coworker he had been having an affair with, a couple of weeks after our divorce finally came through. Then the two of them moved away to Philadelphia. We haven't spoken to each other or seen each other since then, so I'm kind of glad that I did not give him that second chance. The affair, unfortunately, not only ruined my marriage but also my relationship with my sister, and I'll tell you how. So my younger sister, Nina, 34, female, was pretty close with Martin. They were part of the same friend circle in college, and that's actually how I met him in the first place. But regardless, I had expected Nina to take my side when we were getting divorced. In spite of their friendship, Martin had cheated on me, and Nina was my sister, so it was natural for me to expect her to understand where I was coming from and be there for me. But when I told my family that I was getting a divorce from Martin because of his infidelity, to my surprise, I found out that Nina already knew about the divorce since Martin had told her about it. Her advice to me was that I should stay with Martin and try to work things out because the guy really wanted to make our marriage work. I was shocked that she would even suggest something like this, and I told her that I was not going to stay with him no matter what. I also expressed that I was very disappointed that she was still choosing to stay in touch with Martin in spite of what the guy had put me through because I was quite torn up about the divorce and the affair when I found out about it. So I had expected her to cut Martin off. However, we ended up getting into a fight over that because Nina thought that it was rather unreasonable for me to expect something like this out of her because she and Martin had been friends for a really long time, and it was not her fault that we had chosen to get together, get married, and now we were getting divorced. She said that she would like to stay out of all of this and retain her friendship with Martin, as well as continue having a good relationship with me. I don't know if I was right or wrong, but I thought that it was a very diplomatic stance to take, and I told her that that was not going to fly with me. I made it very clear to her at the time that she could either pick Martin and continue to be in touch with him, or she could have a relationship with me, her sister. And I had obviously expected her to pick me because she and I had been very close growing up. So I was not okay with my sister having any sort of contact with my ex-husband, and I made that very clear to her. To my surprise, she ended up choosing to remain friends with Martin and said that I was being unreasonable. She said that I was being petty and immature, and so she thought that it was better for her to stay around people who actually valued her and were not going to make her choose between people who were both special to her, just to flatter their ego like I was apparently doing. I was very disappointed when that happened, and since then, I've also had no contact with Nina because she really let me down. Then she even attended Martin's second marriage with his affair partner, which was the final nail in the coffin. 5 years passed, and so far, I have never spoken to her. Our parents have tried their best to get us to reconcile, but both of us are pretty clear on where we stand. I do visit my parents on the holidays, and she does as well. We do see each other at other family events like weddings and stuff, but we never speak to each other. I don't even have anything to say to her. I keep hearing from my parents about the important things that go on in her life, the milestones and whatnot. So I know that a couple of years ago, she started her new graphic design business. Until then, she had been a freelancer and had been doing pretty well for herself, so she decided to start her own business with a couple of her other buddies. It's been 3 years, and from what I heard from my parents, they have been doing decent enough. I thought it was good for them. But then, a couple of days back, I received a phone call from my parents saying that Nina was in a lot of trouble and that they needed me to help her out. Now apparently, Nina had not been entirely truthful with them about how well her business was doing, and now she was drowning in debt and had even been evicted from her apartment since she hadn't paid the rent in the last 6 months.